Good morning, crafters! I hope that you can see me and that we are live on YouTube. Had a little bit of problem with Facebook, so I'm not sure that we're live on Facebook. If you could please let me know if you can hear me. Well, fantastic! Hello, Judy from Pittsburgh. Oh my goodness, what is the weather in Pittsburgh today? We live in southern New Mexico, and so it's actually going to be warm today. It's 81 degrees. Well, we have a great show for you today. If you are joining us live, it's 10 o'clock Mountain Time on Tuesday. And if you are watching the rebroadcast, thank you so much for joining us. We sure would love it if you would take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We are working very hard to grow our channel this year. And for those of you that don't know us, when I say we, I mean my sister and myself. She's my crafting buddy, and we do this together. Hey, Phyllis, Joan, Carol, so happy that you're here and you found us. Well, we have a great show for you today. We're going to make 3 greeting cards, and we're going to use 3 different stamp sets. So I think you're going to have a great time and you're going to love these cards. So let's head down to the crafting table and let me show you the card that we're going to make today. We're going to make a card like this. We're going to have our circles cut out, and we actually have another card in place. Now that's our first card. Then we're going to step it up a little bit. So I think you're really going to like it. Let me show you what we're going to work with first off. We're going to work with Sending Smiles, and we're going to work with these circle dies that have this beautiful stitched edging. And that's simply called Stitched Shapes. Of course, you could use a punch. You can use whatever you have. But we wanted to go ahead and have that stitched edging around it. So let me show you what you do. It's a little bit different, this base card. This base card is just 5.5 by 6 1/4, and then we scored it on 2 inches right here on the long side. And now we're just going to take the inside card, which is simply 5 1/4 by 8, and we're going to go ahead and score it at 4 inches. So let's go ahead and do 4 inches. We're just going to score it. That's simply half. And this card is a little bit smaller than this so that we get this beautiful border around. And as you can tell, we have this beautiful, beautiful Blackberry Bliss cardstock. That's one of my favorites. Now we're going to go ahead and just fold that over. Now I went ahead and I cut out these circles because we have 3 cards to make, and I really want to show you how this is done, just in case you want to immediately go to your craft room and start crafting, right? Okay, you're going to need 2 strips because we want to make sure and mat this so that it turns out really pretty. And these strips are simply 1 3/4 by 5 1/4 and 1.5 by 5. But I want to remind you, all you have to do is go over to our blog on Creative Moments by G, and the measurements will be there so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lay this down so that you can see how quickly you can make this greeting card. And then we're going to step it up a little bit to show you how you can do that very easily. Okay, don't you just love this paper? I love this, and I love this purple, of course. Now, I'm going to stamp a few flowers, but I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape just to give it a little bit lighter tone. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I want to go ahead and stamp the message on this white circle because we want to make sure that we have enough room for our message and we stamp the flowers around it. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in a dark color for this message. I'm just going to bring in Night of Navy. So, and this is such a beautiful stamp. So we're just going to put this right in the middle and get that stamped. You are wonderful in every way. Look at that. Look how beautiful that font is. I just love that. Now, I'm going to try not to forget my rhinestones. I sometimes forget that, right? And now we know exactly where we can stamp around our sentiment. So I'm going to bring in that gorgeous grape that we talked about. And just kind of stamp that right there. Get one down here. And then I'm going to bring in, I thought I had the yellow. Where is it? Okay, I'm going to get yellow because we need that for the inside of our flower. And these flowers from Sending Smiles are just beautiful. Get a little bit of yellow. You don't want to forget the center of your flower. And now we're just going to bring in some leaves. So I have Old Olive. And now look at that. Isn't that pretty? Very easy to recreate this. And all we have to do now is set this up on some dimensionals. So I'm going to get the dimensionals. Okay, so we're just going to set this up right in the center. I just love the way that makes the center pop. And now we're going to set this up right here. Now you can either glue it down or you can set it up on dimensionals. I'm going to go ahead and glue it down, and we can tell we only need about a little bit over a third. So I'm just going to flip it and make sure that I get glue on that side because you don't want to glue your card shut. So let's just put a little bit of glue and line it up where we have about the same space. I love this design. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is we are just going to put a few flowers on the inside of this card with a little bit of leaves, and then we'll be done. And let's just go ahead and maybe put another one right there. We're going to get the inside of our card. Just a little yellow. Let's turn this. And now we'll just bring in the tip of a leaf and just bring it right there. And now we have the inside of our card. Okay, now all you have to do is line this up right in the center and go ahead and put glue right on the back side of this base card. This is a very fast. Now go ahead and put it right up against the crease and close it so that you're getting there. Right there. And then you can come back in and just go over this. Okay. And there we have our first very simple greeting card. I'm just looking. Okay. Now you can stamp something here. I have seen this where they actually put another circle, but I really didn't want to do that. Just a very simple card. Now we're going to step it up just a little bit. I'm going to put this to the side. And the next set that we're going to work with is Happiness Abounds. We're also going to work with the Hues of Happiness DSP that comes with it so that you really don't have to do a lot of coloring, which is fantastic, right? So look at these colors. We have simply used the Bermuda Bay and the Old Olive. Now we're going to do it exactly the same way. We need to go ahead and score this at 2 inches. Let's get that done. And you're going to score it on the long side. 2 inches, and make sure we don't cut it. I'm just making sure. Okay. Put that to the side. And now you can just crease it. Use your bone folder and reinforce it so that we have a nice, crisp score line. And now we're simply ready to decorate this. Now this is going to be interesting because we are going to stamp our message, and I think on this one we're going to make it a happy birthday card. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the dark blue for our message because I really like the way it stamps. Now I'm also going to stamp it down in the bottom half of this because we have some flowers that we cut out using our DSP, and we want to make sure we have enough room for those beautiful flowers. So we're just going to hold that, and there we have it. And now look at these flowers that we have. Oh my goodness, they're so pretty. We cut them out, and I want to show you something that I did with the leaves and also how I tried to do it with the flower. I went ahead and I ran it through an embossing folder. It really didn't work on the flowers because it made it too light. It even lightened it up more, which I don't like. I want to keep these vibrant colors. However, it worked perfectly on the leaves. So you could just cut them out with the die set and just run it through the embossing folder, and it really does add that special touch. So now all we have to do is I'm just going to kind of crinkle these up just a little bit so that they're not so flat. And we are simply going to arrange them on our circle, which, oh my goodness, I love this. So let's go ahead and put this one first because this is the darker green. So I want this one, I think, right here. And then I'm just going to tuck this one under because I want the darker green a little more prominent. So let's just tuck this one under. Get off the backing. And just put it right there. And now we're going to bring in some leaves. Now I'm going to go ahead and use just some glue to attach. And now I'm just going to add that right there. I'm going to pick up some more leaves. Oh, look at that. So pretty. And add that right there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add this with some dimensionals. And don't you love this color? I love this rose in Bermuda Bay. So pretty. But let's go ahead and add our dimensionals right to the green circle. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove the backing. And I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool because that works better. Now we are going to do something else too. So I'm going to move these to the side. And I'm going to go ahead and put this right on the top, just like we did before. Let's get that laid down. And then I'm going to lay the DSP on top. And then we're going to step up the card, the base card that we put on the inside. And we are going to run it through the embossing folder and just emboss the front panel, just to give it that little special touch. Now look at that. Look how pretty that's going to look. So let's go ahead and score this at 4 inches. And let's get that scored. Go ahead and crease it. And now we're simply going to bring in our, and come back in. Oh, good, Phyllis. We're going to bring in our embossing machine, and I am simply using this beautiful embossing folder. I love this. This is called Painted Texture. Now, the way you emboss just half of your sheet is you just put half of it in, right? So we're just going to put it just like this. And we're going to run it through our machine. And this will give just an added touch. Make it so pretty. Let's move that down. And take this out and look at how beautiful that looks. Isn't that pretty? I love this embossing folder. Okay, so we're going to bring in our card. And we are simply going to line it up and go ahead and glue it down, just like we did the other one. And this card, let's see, we used Happy Birthday. You are wonderful in every way. So we used Happy Birthday on this one. So once again, we're simply going to add this and make sure that you just have your glue right here on this side. You do not want to glue your card shut. And there we have our stepped up card. Look at this. I love the embossing and how it really added to it. And I love these 3D flowers. Instead of laying them flat, go ahead and just kind of curve them up a little bit. And don't forget to emboss your leaves. It really doesn't affect it other than it makes it really stand out. So here's our second card. And now let's move into our third and final card. Oh my goodness. This card I'm going to give to Madi to get well. Hurry and get well. Now this is the first time that I have used this new stamp set, Cup of Tea. And I also used their, because I bought the whole bundle, I also used their DSP, which is called Tea Boutique. And look at the beautiful colors that we have. Oh my goodness. Absolutely beautiful. So let's get this card made and keep our fingers crossed because I haven't made it yet. So let's go ahead and just score our inside card at 4. Let's get that scored. Okay. We'll go ahead and just fold that over. And we need to go ahead and score 2 inches on our base card, right? So we're putting it on the long side and we're putting it at 2 inches. Give it a good score line. And just bring in your bone folder and reinforce it to where you have a crisp score line. There we have it. Okay, I want to make sure that I have a border all the way around. So I want to go ahead and just give this some added texture. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this embossing folder and get this embossed one more time because I think that really adds to it. So let's just go ahead and slip it right in our embossing folder and run it through our machine. Okay. So, you know, we can go ahead and we can just get our little flower stamp that I want to go ahead and stamp. So I'm going to bring in the garden green and I'm just going to stamp a few little leaves. Okay, right here at the bottom. And then we can stamp a few little flowers. Now on these flowers, you have a die that cuts them apart. So pick your little flowers that you want. I'm just going to ink up 2 right there. And we have some red flowers on the inside. Now we're going to go ahead and let's just lay this down. So get your glue on the back side. And we're just going to lay it down. And remember, go ahead and fold this over so that you get it exactly right up against that edge. Make sure you have the same border around the top and the bottom. And there we have it. So we'll just go ahead and fold this, squish it down really good. And now we get to decorate the front. So I went ahead, like I said, and used their DSP. I love this. So pretty. Let's go ahead and lay that down. So we will have made 3 very quick greeting cards, but oh my goodness, so pretty. We need to lay this down first on our yellow mat. And let's lay this down on the card. If you decide to make this card, we would love to see it over on Facebook. Let's go ahead and just press that down. Lots, I'll have to check out the replay. Okay, Pat, thank you so much. Now let's go ahead and decorate this. Look at this cute little teacup that I stamped. It has a stamp that puts those stripes in it, and then it has a die cut that just cuts it out. So cute. And look at this. I cut out a little heart. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up on a small mini dimensional and take the backing off and just put him right in the center. Oh, look how cute that looks. So cute. And now we have our flowers and we have our grass that we're going to go ahead. And I'm just going to glue this right on top of our flowers. So let's just get a little bit of glue right here. And I use wet glue because it gives me enough time to kind of wiggle. So we're going to get that right there. And we're going to put this right on top of that white circle. And we're going to use a big dimensional for that. So we'll just go ahead and put 3 dimensionals right on the circle. Take that off and set this up. Now we are putting our sentiment on the inside this time. So we're just going to set it right in the center. And now I'm simply going to take my silicone mat and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on it because I'm going to pick up my flowers and they are so tiny. It's easiest if you use this rubber part of your take your pick tool and just kind of dip it in and just add your flower right there. I'm going to go ahead and get another one, dip it in, and I think I'll put it right there. Okay. And now we have these very small ones. I'm going to add this one. And we have one more. And you don't have to worry about that glue because once this dries on your silicone mat, it comes right off. So now we have this beautiful little image that we're going to put right on this yellow circle. So we're going to get some more dimensionals and put this right in the center. And then we will have created our 3 greeting cards. And we're going to look at them one more time. Okay, so now we have this. I'm going to move this out of the way because I have a little bit of glue right there. Don't want to get that on the back side of my card. And we're going to add this right here. So once again, just a little bit of glue. Line it up. Press it down. And we are going to stamp our message right here. And this one is going to say, well, I can't really read it, but let's go ahead and stamp it and then we'll be able to read it. Okay, get some ink on there so I can read it. It says, take care of yourself. I'm going to give this to Maudie. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that right in the center. And there we have it. Let's get this out of the way. So here is the card using these cute little cup of tea. I mean, this is just so darn cute. We love this. So here is this card. And this is a stepped up version because we have our embossing. We did this one. It was our first card, no embossing, just stamped on it, but yet it's very pretty also. And then we added the DSP flowers. We used our dies and cut them out. Well, what an interesting morning with the internet, right? We just appreciate everyone coming. We want you to go out and have a fantastic day. We hope that we will be here on Thursday night at 7 p.m. We have more new cards to make with you. Please take a moment, if you haven't, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And after this gets posted, we would love it if you would leave us a comment and let us know how we did today. And if you like these cards and which one you liked best. Bye-bye.